Hello and welcome to another episode of Mike and Dave's Hi-Fi Riff. I'm Mike Evans.
And I'm David Price.
And David, on this week's riff, what are we going to be chatting about?
Well, I think you know Mike, because it's sitting there on the sofa next to you.
I've got it here, look.
So Mike's going to do an unboxing video.
We're going to talk about Annie.
Yes.
Hey.
Mike's friend, Annie.
My friend Annie. I really like this. Is quite cool.
Yeah.
Unboxing video. We haven't. I don't think we've done an unboxing
never
video
done
in ages, have we?
No, well, I almost said
yeah.
I would never ever do anything if we did an unboxing video, but you've won out, Mike, because it does have a nice box.
It really does, actually. Yes.
I grumpily admit that it's.
Yeah, look at that.
So yeah. So it's also an intelligence test.
It is.
To see whether you can actually understand.
Clearly, I've failed
how
totally.
How to take something out of a box.
Okay, it's that way. It's nothing like having a bit of practice first, is there?
Well, there was nothing like having a bit of practice first, but who needs to practice taking something out of a box? That's
clearly,
what I want to
clearly
know.
I do. I'm sure that came out. Well, it does look. There's a little slidey box at the bottom with all the leads and things in there. I knew there was something more to it.
Nothing gets past you, Mike.
Right, I'm bored with the unboxing now. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
There we are. Look, it's tiny. Look at it. It's just the smallest.
I like the way you showed the sockets first.
Of course. Yeah. There we are. Look. So, yeah. But it's just equal.
Does it have a front as well?
Actually, yes, it does. It does. So. This is. I think. Am I right in saying is it 10 watts per channel?
10 watts per channel.
10 watts per channel. Yeah. And we did a review recently of the new B&W speakers, and we talked about trickle down technology.
Yeah.
This is a classic example of that, isn't it? Because it's come lots of their tech in this tiny little box has come from some of their huge stonky power amps.
Yes, the Ultima dual feed forward circuitry. If you believe the press release.
Well, we were at the Hi-Fi show recently, and we were in the Townsend Kerr Acoustics room.
This will be the UK audio show.
The UK audio show at Daventry, which is a great show, by the way. Really cool, really nice atmosphere. And Jez Kerr was using the massive Chord power amp, wasn't he?
Yep.
I mean, it sounded amazing, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then here's the sort of dinky version of it.
Yes, this one's shrunk in the washing machine.
It is.
You put it on a 90 when it should have been on a 40.
Yes, it's exactly right. Yeah, and it's interesting. So it's got so there's a few things on here. So it's only got two inputs.
Yeah.
And obviously you toggle them with the funny little buttons.
Yeah.
At the front, and you've got your volume control. Yeah. And not entirely sure what everything else does, to be honest. It's got a gain button, but I don't know what that does.
How long have you've had this for weeks, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I just sort of
Okay,
I turn it in. I turn it in and play it. So please do.
This is
there you are.
Okay, so
this is why you're here.
So I've been writing about hi-fi since 1993, Mike. So call in the expert.
I'm reading about it since about 1973.
Yes, exactly. So this is the volume, the bit that says volume. That's the volume.
Yes.
So those two things were headphones. There's a big headphone and a little headphone.
That's handy.
Those for headphones.
Yes.
And then you've got your gain switch. It alters your input gain. And then you've got your on-off. That's the switch it on and off.
Very good. Okay.
So there you go. Have it back now.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. What does that do? DC out.
DC out. That is for powering the cutest DAC, I believe, and also the Huey.
Huey.
Pardon me. The Huey. Do we have to? I mean, for heaven's sake.
Why do Hi-Fi products have such weird names?
Ask John Franks.
I mean, and Huey.
Yes, the Huey phonostage.
Yes.
So
Huey Green.
Huey. Yeah. Well, moving swiftly on. So So basically, it's got a kind of phantom power for other Chord products, and of course, it's got an input power socket there for the 15-volt DC,
which comes with it in the second tray in the box.
You get a free power supply with your little amplifier.
And there's actually a really nice stacking system as well with the cutest and the Huey. And you can put them all together, and it looks really sweet, doesn't it?
With the cutest and the what?
The Huey. Am I pronouncing that wrongly?
I didn't hear that.
So it's sort of like the world's cutest, no pun intended, desktop system, isn't it? So you plug your sort of computer into the cutest, and then and drive, I don't know, some suitable speakers with this, whatever you can drive with 10 watts.
Yes,
which we actually found a little bit of a challenge when we were at the Hi-Fi show, because
for several reasons
we plugged this in. Well, one of them being we chose probably some of the hardest speakers in the world to drive with it, so we didn't.
The other reason is it's a desktop amplifier, and we were in a room with 70 people.
Yes, but actually, when it worked, because obviously we tried to drive it too hard and it didn't like that.
Well, you did.
I did. When it worked, it sounded amazing. It sounded really good. And in fact, I don't think some of the people who were listening could quite believe what they were hearing, because somebody said the speakers just completely disappeared and imaged like no tomorrow. So. But I actually think this is a really cool hi-fi product. And not to be confused as a toy.
No.
And certainly with its price tag of...
I think it is 1,200 quid.
It's definitely not a toy.
It's not a toy.
It's definitely not a toy.
It's a toy if you're incredibly rich and can spend 1,200 quid on something sort of smaller than a Sony Walkman Professional, basically.
So for that sort of money, it has to perform.
Yes.
Doesn't it? It really does have to perform. And I'm pleased to say that it does.
Yeah.
It's a cracking little amplifier.
It's a great amp that's shrunk in the wash with relatively low power.
Yes.
And not an awful lot of current drive. But it's supposed to be a desktop amp. So us using it in our Hi-Fi Riff dem in an enormous, humongous room about the 4 or 5 times the size of my large-ish listening room.
Yes.
Probably wasn't the right thing to do.
Possibly not.
And then you turning it up absolutely full volume as well.
It didn't help.
Didn't help.
No. And I was also using. We were also using my mobile phone and a Chord Mojo 2.
Yes.
And the Chord Mojo 2, you can change the gain, change the output.
Yep.
And I had this quite high as well.
Yeah.
So we were probably overloading the preamp section on the mix. So we had a perfect storm of disaster.
And there's one more thing.
Yes. Here we go. Now people aren't going to believe what we're showing them here, but when we were at the Hi-Fi show, we used these Amstrad loudspeakers.
Yes,
which
just hold that up to the camera.
Oh, well, look at those bad boys. In fact, you got yours the wrong way around. Look, there we are. Which are, here we go, fantastic, aren't they? These are brilliant.
So you're saying the Amstrad
Lavatory series
LS101.
LS101 are fantastic.
Yes.
And
so you're saying, Mike, an Amstrad speaker.
Amstrad speaker is fantastic, amazing, and
you're seeing a doctor on Monday.
And how much did you pay for these?
£33.
Amazing, including postage, no doubt.
I think that might have been an extra £2.
Just brilliant. Now we're cheating here, aren't we?
Right, if I may be so bold.
Yeah, so, and there we are. That's our system. So our system actually was my mobile phone, Chord Mojo 2, Anni, and a pair of 32 quid Amstrad loudspeakers.
Yeah,
proper hi-fi.
It was
proper hi-fi. Sounded amazing.
I'd just like to, at this point, I'd like to apologise to everyone at Chord Electronics for using Amstrad speakers with your lovely Huey.
Yes.
Not Huey, Anni even. Desktop amp. Actually, they work really well.
They do. But not in a massive room full of 70 people.
Well, I don't think that they envisaged when the Chord's PR guy, excellent PR guy Dan, lent us this. I don't think they envisaged we'd be using it with Amstrad speakers.
No, quite. But we need a little bit more disclosure here, I feel, don't we? Because these have got Amstrad on the front and on the back and on the badges and everything, but
Amstrad didn't make them.
Amstrad didn't make them at all. In fact, Amstrad had very little to do with the production of these speakers.
Well, they might have stuck the Amstrad label on.
I think that's about it. Yeah. But Alan Sugar did not design this speaker.
No, he didn't.
And in fact, they are they're kind of a couple of different brand names they come under, because they were realistic, weren't they? Were they the realistic?
Yeah, so they're basically realistic Minimus 7.
Yes.
So we will do to stop the Chord Electronics review being hijacked by these Amstrad speakers.
Good point.
We'll talk about those in another riff.
Absolutely, because they're worthy of a riff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I'll just remind you, Mike.
This is what we're here to talk about.
So
yes.
Yeah, but the point being is that this is a really nice small near field monitor.
Yeah.
Actually, a metal case as well, metal cabinet, really good quality, and nothing to do with Amstrad.
Yeah.
And these work brilliantly in that capacity, didn't they?
Really brilliant. Yes.
And this is a clean sounding amplifier, and it's surprisingly revealing of its source.
Really is. Yeah.
It really does work well with an excellent quality budget DAC like the Mojo.
Yeah.
Or indeed the Cutest, or any of those kind of sort of type things. The only downside really is that it gets a bit hot.
It does actually get quite hot. Yeah.
Yes. And it costs £1,195, and there will be people in the comments going, "Are you kidding me?" So it's very expensive, but it is beautiful. It is a lovely thing to hold and to look at, and the detailing is sublime, etc. Everything is absolutely perfect about it, apart from it's expensive.
You can't knock it, can you? I mean, it does so many things well. It sounds like a big amplifier. It images, it's dynamic, it's got bass. It does so many things well.
It's got more power than your Name 1, Mike.
Well, do you know, actually, isn't that probably the truth, isn't it?
So,
I'm certainly... Yeah, it's...
so, I mean...
I'm not sure it would drive my cans, but...
no, I'm not sure either. But to assess the value of this... you kind of need a special way of looking at it, don't you? So if you want a absolutely best quality tiny little desktop system, this is something that could fit the bill.
That's true.
But if you're kind of thinking about sound per pound in terms of watts per channel, this isn't on the map, is it? So
no.
Go for a sort of cheap Cambridge Audio something if you're going for value.
Yes.
But we just thought we'd share it with you because it was part of our dem at the UK Audio Show, which was a real it was good fun to do.
It was brilliant fun to do.
We won't talk about the other system. Maybe that's for another time.
We'll do that another time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But actually, a lot of people rather like this, and we're quite impressed.
I agree completely. And the reason why we did it, and what we were trying to achieve, the point we were trying to make was that everybody's got one of these. Everyone's got a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Okay, and the DAC in the mobile phone is an absolute pile of crap and probably cost about 50p. So actually, Chord, you do an amazing DAC.
Yeah.
So for 400 quid or whatever the Mojo 2 is these days, then you've got
400 at the moment.
You've got an amazing source. Yeah. Okay, and then to get some proper hi-fi, all you need is an amp and speakers. Okay, maybe we over-egg the price of the amp a little bit. Maybe that's not exactly your first budget amplifier. But we were trying to make a point that for sort of with 3 small boxes, actually you've got a hi-fi system, haven't you?
It's a baby high-end hi-fi.
It's a baby high-end hi-fi. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So. And I just think this stuff like this gives people access to hi-fi.
Yeah.
And these are great building blocks. I'm actually quite fond of this.
Yes,
I think this is really quite sweet.
Yeah.
In the same way, I'm quite fond of the Edwards
audio IA4,
which we did, and also the amplifier, which we did.
Yeah.
Which again, I thought both of those sounded lovely. I think this sounds better than both of those two.
Yeah,
I would hope it would because it's expensive.
I think it does.
To them.
Yeah.
I would say that this is the state of the art desktop amp.
Yeah.
This is sort of the absolute sort of high end equivalent, isn't it? So I like it. I like it a lot. Well, whether you could justify the price tag is a different kettle of fish. But if you do, then if you've got a Cutest and the Hue, it looks really smart in like as you say, a shrunk in the wash hi-fi system.
The only problem is it's going to be hard to get out of the box if you're Mike.
Yeah, well, as you noticed, we're not going to do any more unboxing videos, are we? We're really not going to do any more unboxing videos.
Yes.
So very good.
So on that bombshell, now you've seen why we haven't done any unboxing videos.
Yes.
Because Mike doesn't know how to take hi-fi out of their boxes.
Crap.
Then yes, I think the Riffometer.
This is going to be a really difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you were doing a riffometer just on actually how cool this is, and you ignored the price, I'd happily give it a 9. But I just don't think I can give it a 9 when it's so much money. So I think I'm going to have to go down to about 7.
Yep.
Because I love it, but I wouldn't pay that much money for it because it just doesn't quite tick the boxes which I'm looking for.
Absolutely.
So is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm kind of the same. I think I maybe 7.5 at a push, but it's very difficult to, I mean, everyone will always say in terms, how do you assess value for money with hi-fi? And if you think that people spend 10 grand on a racing bike, or Jimmy Choo shoes or whatever, then it's all relative. If you buy beautifully made, very high performing stuff, the kind of boutique products, as it were, then that's not unreasonable. But looked at in a kind of conventional way, then it's overpriced, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is, and that's a really good point, I think. Yeah. So, but I think any way you look at it, it's a great sounding amp, and it's quite a funky product
if you can get it out of the box.
Not on that bombshell. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Mike and Dave's Hi-Fi Riff, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye.